Apramya, Mayank, good having you here with us in the Leaders of Tomorrow. It feels so good to be back in offices, shooting in person, and of course talking about all the things that are happening as far as innovation is concerned. And I think your company definitely is a great example of Indian innovation at its best. So when you were looking at really starting out in the Indian marketplace, what was that problem that you were trying to solve? Because there already existed something that was so well entrenched and that was so well known. So why did you decide perhaps that this is where you wanted to be innovating and starting out?
Yeah, we saw a very new construct in India where India was becoming the second largest internet market in the world. What's unique about India is that majority of the people don't speak in English, and the first internet users in India were largely folks like us, urban users, speak in English, educated, stuff like that. But if you see the next set of users that adopted the internet, they were largely language users, and this was a very large base. Almost 300-400 million new users were coming onto the internet that did not speak in English. The global products, because they are largely in English, did not cater well to their needs. It became very clear that these users needed a different set of experiences which had to be more language immersive. And both of us are very excited about doing stuff at scale. We started thinking about this and we realized that giving someone the power to express themselves is a very big thing. Giving them a voice, giving them a stage to voice their opinions. We are always excited about scale and impact. And when we thought about impactful products, expression is a very important thing. Freedom of speech is very important. So we started looking at this problem and we realized that the existing products are not penetrated well enough in the segment that we wanted to cater to. This was germination of broad thought, and we discussed this during our walks in the Jayanagar office, and we then decided to pilot this, and we put together a prototype. And since we were based in Bangalore, we thought we should try this particular experiment in Kannada and see if that works. And in a few days we had a few thousand users that were very excited about expressing themselves, connecting with each other. That's when we knew that we had something going here.
Okay, why has no one else managed to crack this space? Because like Mayank is saying, it's definitely a huge market. So why has no one else managed to crack this?
Well, it's broadly timing, right? So if you look at it, as Mayank was saying, the first few internet users in the country were all anyway English speaking. So the English speaking audience of India is anyway connected to the West through various ways, and including internet products. So there was never a need to build a separate social network ever before, apart from this time. It is post Geo that so many hundreds of millions of people got access to internet, and then suddenly they felt alienated on existing networks, and especially the open network of expression, right? Where majority are expressing in English, and as a Hindi speaker or a Kannada speaker who doesn't know English that well, you'll feel a little overwhelmed when you enter that kind of a platform. So now is the time when users are feeling that they need a separate app, they need a separate place to come and connect with each other. Existing big platforms like WhatsApp are private networks. People we know are on our WhatsApp, are on our Facebook network. So those are, private networks that have been formed. In the open network space, there is nobody, right? And there is enough potential in the market to go deep and solve for connections, expression, to make it happen. So I think there's never been a better opportunity and time to develop a social network than now.
Okay, since you're saying freedom of expression, and that brings me to my next question. Anything to do on social media always begs the question of how companies and businesses like yourself are perhaps monitoring what's being said, especially when there's so much hate speech and there's so much negativity going around. How do you really approach it as a company? What's your policy?
There's no need to reinvent the wheel, I would say. There is there is a constitution, there's a democracy, there's a country in which we all live, there are laws of the land. Align the social network principles to all of this that exists already. If a person is behaving a particular way offline, there is no need to behave differently online. So what you wouldn't say in a public domain out loud in the offline world, anyway you shouldn't be saying online, right? So, and if it is said, then there are enough rules and regulations and law of land to govern it. So we just follow the law of land. It's as simple as that.
Okay. Is it too restrictive when it comes to, social media platforms like yourself in the country and the kind of regulations that we have? How do you sort of view that perhaps?
Well, I think like he said, there are certain laws and most people are aware of what should be done, what shouldn't be done. It's just that on the internet, people feel that they are masked and hence have the freedom to say anything and everything that they want. That's sort of what creates issues that social media platforms deal with. We've actually created very sophisticated algorithms to figure out when a post might be violating a particular rule. We have 14 to 15 categories in which we categorize some sort of moderation need, and most of these things are not problems that you can throw people at. So you have to depend on algorithms, you have to depend on rules, dictionaries and things like that. I think for a young company like ours, we're fairly sophisticated and even progressive in the way we think about community moderation and giving the power to the users to highlight what they think is a problem.